I wore a John Cena shirt. I had to ask my mom to bring in a new one because I got bullied so much. It's like 14. I said, Dad, I want to wrestle. I don't want to live life with regrets. The passion grew ever since. Social media went crazy, and I got hit up for a brand deal.
What does the average wrestler make? What it is, Brad Lee, back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, I got a real treat for you. Vinny Pacifico is in the house. What's going on, Vinny?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Folks, if you guys never heard of this dude, then you're not a wrestling fan, and you probably live under a rock. Now, Vinny, I got a couple of questions for you, because a long time ago, I had this guy in here named Chris Van Vliet. You know who that is?
Yes.
See, I didn't know he was a big wrestling dude. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting here talking to him, and I'm like, I really don't like wrestling. It's fake, And then I got bombarded by wrestling fans, even death threats damn near. Wow. And so I started to look into it a little bit, and I wanted to recant the fake part, because it is scripted, mm-hmm. but it's not fake. Like that takes some athletic prowess to jump around, and there's people getting hurt.
Definitely. It's a very tough business. And wrestling fans are very passionate, so they will get mad at a lot of things. Anything that disrespects wrestling, they get very mad. Even this week, Wednesday, I had a match on AEW television, and I chipped the back left tooth and a part of my front tooth. So this real connect. Everything connects really, really hard. It's
yeah. After I did the research, I'm like, damn, dude, that you can get hurt doing that. Yep. So I don't mean, when I said fake, I don't mean fake like it's all fake. Mm-hmm. It definitely is athletic. It definitely is dangerous, and it's definitely real. So I step back and recant the fake. So all the wrestling fans, you can cancel the death threats because I do think it's real, although it is still scripted.
Yeah.
Now, does it bother you if someone tells you, okay, this dude's going to win?
No, not really. As long as I give the fans their money's worth and they leave happy and I put on a good match, it's all that matters really at the end of the day. Ego gets in the way of people who get mad, because people do get mad. People get angry. Oh, I got to lose this match.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I want to be like the champ.
Yep.
Who gets to be the champ?
The person who makes it depends. You could be a great draw. That helps. Being a great draw, being a great wrestler, being somebody who looks the part. It's all just being a package. And I think that's where that comes into play in decision making.
So how did you get into wrestling? Back in 2007, you attended some SmackDown?
Mm-hmm. I actually, yes, actually. And I went to SummerSlam, actually, 2007. I became a huge wrestling fan. And ever since then, it's just been the passion going for it. I played football for many years as well. And at some point I was like, I want to try wrestling. I played quarterback. I loved it. I succeeded. I was playing in high school. I said, Dad, you know what? I was 14. I said, Dad, I want to wrestle. I want to try this. I want to try professional wrestling. I don't want to live life with regrets. I want to be able to tell my younger self that I did what I wanted to do. So started the train when I was 14, and the passion grew ever since. And it's not an easy business. It's a very, very brutal business. It's very hard on your body. Mentally destroys you. Flying across the country, back same night, sleeping on the plane. It's taxing, but there's risk reward. And I've been blessed to do a lot of really special things. And I would say that being a fan growing up, I am very proud of what I've done, but I don't think I'll ever be really content. I always want more.
How do you train for these things?
I do a split push-pull legs. I'm also when I'm heavily dieting, I do carnivore diet. I believe the nutrients in beef really helps out my body. And I will say a lot of cardio. Cardio is one of the most important things for a wrestler to do. Stretching and yoga. Yoga is so important. I actually had a few injuries happen because I wasn't doing stretching before matches.
Where's your pills that you had in there?
Right here. So I use, this is Charge from The Fittest. This is a brand that I've always been really cool with. So I'll tell you what. My mother was very sick. My mother was very sick. My grandmother very sick. I emailed these people, said, hey, listen, I believe in these products. I believe they work for everything. what could my mom take and my grandma take? Because these are the symptoms. What do you think? And they sent me a bunch of different products, and that's character. That's a company showing character and showing they care. So that's why I go hard for this brand, because they show they care, and they help. My mom now takes not charges for brain. My mom takes the Armor one for her ligaments and joints because she hurt her ankle really bad, and so I just think that's just a beautiful thing, and that to me makes me feel like that company deserves my love.
So you wrestle, you act, you model. You're like a freaking trifecta. What do you like best?
I love pro wrestling the best. Acting, I just started doing pretty recently, actually. I had a project that we worked on. It's a horror thriller wrestling. It's going to be an episodic series. And at first, it was just, let's see what this is. This is pro wrestling, acting all in one. Let's see what could come of this. My buddy Tony Doty stepped in, and he's helping out with distribution, and it's looking very, very good for us. And we've expanded on ideas, and now we have all episodes written out for when the time comes. So the smallest little seed could grow to become the beautiful plant. So that's how that started. And then Tony also saw a lot in me. He got named producer in a film called Frequency of Miracles, and he thankfully saw something in me enough to put me in that film alongside some amazing people. Bradley, Dr. Bruce Lipton, Jackie, some amazing people. Les Brown, Tony himself, Christina Cantulo herself, the power couple, some amazing people. So I'm very blessed to be part of that film, and I got to tell my story, and I think hopefully my story resonates with people, and they could learn something or they could relate.
So you sound New York. Where are you from?
Staten Island, New York.
And describe when you were a youngster, running around New York doing what?
Playing with friends, catch your dad, watching movies. I love movies. Tons of really fun, childlike things, And growing up, playing with friends, I've had so many fun friends, fun school moments, Bullying came present into my life pretty bad at some point.
Seems like everyone in New York was bullied.
Yes. I love
New York's tough.
Very tough. I love New York. It made me very hard, but I will say, other places in the world, like Europe, where I've traveled to, Florida, even California, Oregon, people are way kinder and have a less of a rush on things. Because in New York, everyone's in a rush. Everyone's running to do something. I feel like in Florida, and I would say Oregon, people are very calm and very collected. So it's just, I guess it comes with the territory of where you live. But being a wrestling fan, I got bullied a lot growing up. I got laughed at. I used to wear John Cena wristbands to school, and people would laugh at me. I wore a John Cena shirt, and I had to ask my mom to bring in a new one because I got bullied so much. So I got a different shirt, and that was pretty bad.
Do you think that drove you?
Yes.
So when you're like getting ready to go wrestle, do you have to like stretch or somehow? Because I would imagine you could break a leg, break a back, break a neck.
Yeah.
What kind of injuries are famous in the wrestling world?
Neck and back.
So who like, has anybody just like been coming up the ranks and they jumped off the top rope and like missed or something?
It happens. Accidents happen all the time, and luckily we're trained to be prepared for the accidents that happen. And I will say that neck is a very big thing in wrestling because you're laying on your back constantly, neck and back. Concussions too are a thing.
So how do you train your neck?
Bridges, neck bridges, head tilts, eating healthy. Like I believe, again, eating beef, eating a lot of nutrient dense foods just heals your body at all times. And I think that's what helps me heal fast.
Well, what is your goal in life? You said in the green room that you wanted to get a message out to the world.
I want to empower the youth, no matter what life throws at them, to keep pushing forward, to work hard, to train, to chase their dream. Because you only live once. You get this chance at life once, and this life is a beautiful thing. We're very lucky to have it. The chances of being born are very, very, very slim. So I feel like, why not take the most of your life and just do what you can with it and chase the dream. And I feel like even if bullying, even the depression, even the anxieties of life, you could still push through and find value in yourself and find self-love. That's one of my goals, is to empower people to find self-love and to love themselves. I also want to be able to take care of my family big time. That's something that's very important to me. I believe success to me is take care of my family doing what I love most. That would be the definition of success for me.
How big's your family?
Very big. Well, I'm married, but I have my mom, my grandma, and I have cousins and my sister and nieces and nephews and my father, and I want to be able to be somebody in the family who people could look to if they need help.
Are you making a shitload of money?
Not yet.
How long does it take in that business to make any money? What does the average wrestler make?
I will say it's peaks and valleys. There are some months you make really good money, and there's some months that aren't as busy and you don't make as much money. It depends. As a wrestler, you get paid by the day on the independents. When you're signed, you get a salary. So salaries all go different because there's merchandise sales. You have brand deals. You have booking fees. There's so many ways to make money. So like, it's lucrative, but I want to be somebody who can take care of my whole family. Like, if you need me, I got you. And that, I think, with the acting, with modeling, with wrestling, like, I'm very close to being that person in my family, I think.
Didn't something go viral where you took some energy drink? Was that a brand deal?
Yes. So I was at DOA in Oregon, and I had this new character. I was Vinny Pacifico, but I was given the Power Punch name, the brand. And they're like, oh. So I had a buddy, JC and EC3. They were like, Vinny, your character, you are Power Punch. That's you. Because I didn't have a set character yet. I was just 20 years old, just wrestling and being the young, fun guy. And they're like, this is your character, Power Punch. You're going to do this character, and you're going to, because this is you. You drink energy drinks. You are energetic as heck. You're drinking this. You're doing this. So I was like, all right. First show I did it, came out with the energy drink. I had a nice little blazer on because it was just funny. And the crowd went bananas. And I said, oh, wow, this works. Did it a different town, worked again. Did it again, different town, worked again. So now I started traveling across the country. I had a show on TV in DOA in Oregon, Portland, Oregon. And I did the spot. Both of us are down. The drink's in the corner, energy drink. I'm crawling to the corner. Grab that drink it, and do a whole bunch of crazy moves to this guy. And the crowd went bananas. Social media went crazy, and I got hit up by Bang Energy for a brand deal.
Yeah, that would have done it because you incorporated into the deal.
Yep.
So was that on purpose?
No, I mean the character. That's what the character does. I go to the corner, I drink the drink like Popeye. That's what I do in the ring. But I did not expect a brand deal coming from that.
Yeah, but I mean, you decided that was what you would do, is go get the energy drink, or was it like strategically like, hey, I'll incorporate this into the whole show?
I'll say both because listen, I could always use energy drink, why not, right? But also I think it's different, it stands out, fans like it, and it's something that fans could get excited for. You call to the drink, they pull you away from the drink, they get upset. It's like an emotional with these fans, like they want to be able to cheer you on. So like the closer I get to the drink, they'll cheer louder, and then I get hit, and then they're like, oh, so it's like a fun thing in the match for fans to look to, right? But it turned out to be a brand deal with Bang. A little while after that deal ended, and then G Fuel Energy hit me up and then gave me a brand deal also. And that all led to a bunch of different media, like the Kurt Angle podcast, the Road Dogg podcast, Gangrel podcast, Busted Open Radio, all these different media appearances, Sportskeeda, all these different platforms were like, Vinny, we got to have you on here. This is like amazing. And because it's just different for a wrestler that wasn't signed to a major company to have these brand deals happen so quick. So that really, really blew me up pretty fast.
Well, it's probably because you incorporate them into the show so everybody knows what it is.
Exactly.
Doesn't that prohibit you from having multiple energy drinks at the same time? Because like you got to pick one.
It did for a little while. But I think now that I'm not with the company, I can do what I want. But I think when I align with one, it's going to be worth it.
What is your favorite? Or are you allowed to say?
I'm allowed to say at this point. My favorite energy drink, that's a good question because I have a few. I enjoy C4. I enjoy that as a chill drink. Rise as well. If I'm chilling, like me and my wife will be driving on the road and we want to go down nicely, nice little flavor. Because some of these drinks don't taste very nice, you know. So if you want a good tasting one, I'd see for a rice.
Why don't you make your own?
That's in the works. My buddy Tony's actually working on that with me right now.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yep.
You can private label those things.
Yep.
I've heard that in some of those factories where the energy drinks come in, you know, this one goes this way, this one goes this way, and it's the same exact energy drink.
Exactly. Yep. That's in the works.
So describe your normal day. Like, I'm trying to picture, what do you do when you get up? You got to go train. What do you do?
5 a.m, I wake up, right to the gym immediately, empty stomach. Cardio start, stretch, train, whatever body part I'm doing, or push-pull legs. From there, in the end, I do cardio, answer my emails, media, social media, whatever I'm doing, working. So I'm working while I'm working. I'm in the gym doing cardio and also doing my social media stuff and my emails and inquiries, whatever I'm doing.
For all the fans, what's your social media?
Vinny Pacifico 1 on Twitter or X, Vinny Pacifico on Instagram, and Vinny Pacifico on Facebook. That's my morning, you know, gym, first thing in the morning, 2 hours, train, leave, get breakfast for myself, my wife. She goes to work. And then I guess from there, it's my manager, Tony, and I just go full force into business. You know, we calls, we're doing a bunch of different things we're working on. So it's been a lot of like calls, strategically working with him and just finding opportunities, you know. So it's just like a lot of collaboration with my manager. I like to decompress at some point in the day, probably around 7 or 8. I go to bed pretty early now because I wake up really early. So I try to go to bed by 8 or 9, and then I get up by 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. and just get going. So I would say the average day would be gym, take care of my wife, get my emails done, in the ring train in the ring. That's something I always will incorporate whenever 3 days a week, twice a week, keep fresh in the ring, and do my my manager and I go through things we have coming up.
So do you have any side businesses or businesses that you're launching, brands that you're launching?
Yes, vpbrands.shop is a self-love motivational clothing line that I'm opening, and that will be something that I'm very excited for because it's just No Storms, No Stories is the first t-shirt we're dropping, and that resonates with me. So, and there's a lot of interest online for it. So that's dropping very soon. There's going to be other brands as well that are going to be dropping. But I will tell you this, on a day that I'm wrestling and traveling, that day is completely different from my everyday. I'll wake up, go to the airport, on the plane, I'll do my emails, do my thing on the plane, maybe relax. I try when I can to stretch on the plane because I 7-hour plane rides, it's a lot in the body. Wrestle, or I try to go to the gym before I wrestle. Do the event, go to the hotel, go home, or do the event, go to the airport, fly to the next city, or fly home, or wherever I am next. But I've had a lot of nights where I fly out to the West Coast, wrestle, fly back to the East Coast, only sleep I get on the plane, wrestle, and then go home. So it's a lot on the body sometimes.
If somebody's wanting to get into wrestling, how would you like coach them into it?
Find a very good school to train at. There's a lot of great schools out there, and keep your ears open and just learn as much as you can. Learn everything. I've learned every part of the business there is almost. You know, I've learned how to build a ring. I've learned how to wrestle. I could referee if needed. You know, like I've learned every aspect of everything so that I'm malleable. But obviously, I chose my path of being a professional wrestler. But there's many different paths. If you're a wrestling fan and you want to get into wrestling and not want to be a wrestler, there's many different things you could do in wrestling.
Who do you think's the most famous wrestler of all time?
The Rock.
He surpassed Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Dwayne is
Randy Macho Man Savage.
Randy's great too. He's from Staten Island, actually, where I'm from.
When I want to go back to brand deals. You remember that guy that would go, "Oh yeah, Slim Jim."
Randy Savage.
Yeah, Randy Savage. How much do you think they get paid for stuff like that?
I would think a lot. You know, I think nowadays placement for products is a huge thing, and that's been a really big selling point for athletes and actors as well. Because these brands, they want their product shown, and if there's somebody famous taking their product and they have a big following, I want that product too. So that's a very big. I think it's lucrative.
If someone does a brand deal for you, do you get all the money, or does the the federation or whatever one you're wrestling for get a piece?
Situational. It's situational.
Because like UFC, I hear like if you get a brand deal, like UFC gets a little slice of that.
I think every company situational in the contract. I believe that's what I was told.
So what is the big show in wrestling? WWE, WWF,
WWE. AEW is a really big one too. Just did them Wednesday. They're massive.
The AWE?
AEW.
AEW,
Yes.
And is that international or here?
Yes, international. Well, they're based in Florida, Jacksonville, but they're all over the world. They travel everywhere.
Do you think the bigger you are, the better it is for like, you know, because you would imagine some huge monster coming out. Remember Andre the Giant?
Yes.
So like I always think like, you know, you would, in order to be a wrestler, you have to be like this huge individual, but you don't.
You know, at this point, a lot of guys who are smaller have gotten a lot of success lately. But I think there's a spot for everybody in wrestling. You could be huge, you could be small, you could be like now in this landscape, you could be any size as long as you're good in the ring. You could tell a story. You could convince fans. Your money, you know, at this point.
What's being in the business taught you as a life lesson?
Wow, great question. Don't expect, just do. It will lead to, if you expect things, it leads to depression or non-happiness, right? I've gotten to the mindset of just do everything, just do things. So, and you'll see over time, the fruits of your labor start coming to fruition. I had a moment where I was just, me and my manager, Tony, for weeks and weeks and weeks, we're just doing. And I've done my best to not expect anything, to not think of the outcome. And the outcome has been bigger than I could have imagined.
I just chat GPT'd you. Vinny Pacifico is a rising star in professional wrestling, known for his work in independent promotions and his high energy style. What inspired you to pursue professional wrestling, and who were your biggest influences?
Bryan Danielson inspired me to be a professional wrestler. Kurt Angle as well, somebody who I really, really enjoy watching, and I love him as a person as well, because he's a great person. What inspired me, I was just a fan, and it captivated me. I watched it on TV. I said, I want to do this. And it's larger than life wrestling. It's different. Yeah, I played it at first in a video game, and I never thought that was real. I thought it was a video game. And then my cousin put it on TV. I said, wow, this is a real thing. That to me was like the crazy part about it. So I would say that it's just larger than life. It's something that, think of it this way. We're wrestling live. There's no do-overs. So we're performing and doing stunts and wrestling and everything we're doing on the spot. There's no do-overs. There's no, pause, cut, let's start over. There's none of that. So it's a very tough thing to do. So like that is, for me, being larger than life, being different, being just a overall presentation of like movies and everything together just made me want to do it.
What do you think the major difference is between independent and like the big shows?
I feel everything now is connected. There's a lot of connections. You know, WWE works with the independents now. So is AEW. So there's a lot of crossovers. There's a lot of opportunity working as an independent wrestler for these companies. I'm not signed anywhere, but I just worked for AEW Wednesday. I worked for New Japan a couple months ago. You know, so it's very connected. So there's a lot of similarities, a lot of differences. Like obviously, if you're signed, you're getting salary, you're getting covered on everything, you're getting all these things. As independent, you're your own boss. You're your own boss. You decide what you're doing. You decide like your character. You decide what pay you want. You decide your travel. You decide, you know what I'm saying? So it's just more freedom, I believe, as independent.
Are you looking to get signed?
Yes.
So that's the goal of a wrestler. When they break in, they start moving up the ranks. Their goal is to be signed. A
lot of the time, but I've seen a lot lately. A lot of guys don't want to get signed.
Why?
They want the freedom. There's ways to crack a code and make really good money not being signed. And there's a few of my friends who've done it. It's very, very hard to make 6 figures or even more than that not being signed. Because again, you're your own boss, you know? And
so when someone says, hey, I want you to come wrestle, you say, I want X to do it?
yes. And a flight and hotel.
And they say yes or no?
Yes.
So
and negotiable, of course. But
yeah. So where's their roster? Like, how do they know who's out there willing to do it?
Social media really is like the big thing for wrestling too. And building connections, building a network of people who you know. And like, I have tons of companies who I work for already, but you know, there's places in Europe that want to book me. There's places in Germany who want to book me again. There's places in Japan who want to work with me. So I just building a brand and building your name value is one of the most important things you could do. But yes, I will say that the goal for most wrestlers is to get signed. But I have some friends, I have people who I know who make a comfortable living and they're happy with what they're doing and they want to stay independent.
So if you got millions of followers on social media, they would probably want you even more because that translates into merch sales and ticket sales.
Yes, very much so.
So do you focus on social media at all?
Yes.
What are you doing on social media?
For a while, I was just doing funny. So I started out with this Power Punch character, the energy drink king character, and I would do funny energy drink skits with just wrestlers, you know, legends, people backstage, just fun content. And a lot of it would go viral very fast. And that built, my following very, very, very quick. And that's something that I feel like you need to be relatable. You can't just be a wrestler, I feel like. You need to have something, a hook to yourself. And fans nowadays, they want to see who you are. They want to see more of you.
Yeah.
So I try and peel back a little bit and show my family, show my everyday life, my travels, you know, behind the scenes stuff. Fans love behind the scenes stuff.
How often do you post?
Every day.
How many times?
Stories, a lot. Reels, once, twice a day. Pictures, once a day. Regular posts, pretty often throughout the day.
I would recommend, by the way, 3 to 4 posts every single day.
On Instagram.
Yep, on 6 different channels. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
4 to 6?
4 to 6.
Wow.
It's a lot of content.
Yeah.
That's what I did, though, and it started to work only because I think step 1 is flood the internet with your face. And a lot of people can't do that. They don't have the content. Mm-hmm. And thinking up and creating content, like all those skits, that takes a lot of time and energy and editing and whatnot. But if you just had someone follow you around with a camera, believe it or not, when the camera turns off for most people, the majority of their day is off camera. Well, that majority of time spent and people you talk to and things that you did, that's what I think people want to see.
Yes.
So a lot of times when they come to me, because I have this company and I'm helping them build their brand, I showed them what I did and they didn't even realize that, you know, when the camera goes off, man, that's when the camera should stay on. So like when you're making your content and you're talking to the camera and you're doing all your skits, well then like when you're done and your wife walks in or Tony calls you or something else happens, like that's when you want to keep it going.
Yep.
And you just want to record it all and then let a team go through it and pick and choose out of it. And then they start posting that because that's the realest you can get. Because again, like you see my camera guy follow me everywhere. I say stuff sometimes that goes viral that I never would have said if I was trying to create content.
Wow.
I wouldn't have thought of it. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't have delivered it the same way because it's real.
Yep.
And when you're creating content, you're kind of like, you know, saying some things or doing some things and then the camera's off and you're like, okay, hey man, let's go get lunch. And then at lunch, you're like, man, can you imagine this freaking nonsense? And this guy thinks he's going to, you know, give me X and that's the authentic stuff out there. And speaking of the frequency of miracles, authenticity is one of the highest frequencies you can generate.
Yep.
You can vibrate in. So authenticity. And then the next is, you know, flood the internet, bro.
Wow.
Once or twice a day, that's not enough.
Not enough.
And I'm not talking about stories. You can post 100 stories. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about posts. When someone goes to your page, boom, there's a post. I try to do one in the morning, afternoon, mid-afternoon, and night. Wow. 4 every single day. And I think that would be the secret. So I always put myself in your shoes. If I were in your shoes trying to frickin', you know, get the bigger and bigger shows, I need attention. Mm-hmm. I need everybody to know that Vinny Pacifico is coming to this show and tickets sell and you're like a crowd favorite. And the easiest way to do it is social media. Yep. You could literally just blow up on social media and then everybody be paying whatever you want because you'll be selling tickets like a son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you got to invest in a camera person. Do you have a camera person?
I do not right now.
Yeah, well, even a camera kid or a camera wife, like it doesn't matter who it is as long as you got one. And remember, you want to create the content that nobody is creating, and that is you become the content. Like you are the content. You go into lunch, jumping in an Uber, having a discussion, a real one. Buddy, you'd be surprised how many pieces of content you can get out of that.
I think you have the code cracked more than most wrestlers do, to be honest.
Yeah. Well,
or influence in general.
Yeah. I mean, I maybe it's not my algorithm, but I don't see a lot of wrestling videos or wrestlers hardly at all.
Wow.
And again, you could plug right into mainstream and start bringing fans in, you know, you'll obviously find the wrestling fans on social media. They know who they are. I mean, you start, you got followers already, obviously, but I mean, just to blow up to where you got like millions and millions of followers, they're, cheering you on, and, all of your goals become their goals and objectives. Like when you're reaching for that power drink and everybody freaks out, shit like that, dude, you freaking go crazy. Anybody listening to the show right now, go follow this dude at Vinny Pacifico just to support him. But I would say I'd be focused on social media.
I love that.
So where you're in your movies coming up here pretty quick. It's a thriller horror wrestling movie. It's
to be episodic series. It's a thriller horror. Yes, I actually have my wife involved in it.
Like people are getting killed. Not
killed, but things happen. Things happen. Kidnappings, fighting. Dark. It's dark. I would say more so thriller than horror. Very exciting. Very, very different. It's music, theater, and just art in a film. And I think it's just so different. I'm very excited for this. I actually was able to get my wife booked and to be my Mary Jane Watson part of this film. I'm playing myself. I'm playing Vinny. I'm playing my character. I'm telling a story. I'm telling my story in just a different universe. And I'm just very blessed to have the opportunity because it's different. It's special. And I think I think that someone to make me a lead in something like this is so special, and it's a blessing. It really, really is. And I try to always remember that.
Who's been your toughest opponent in the ring so far?
Wow. Gangrel. He's an absolute legend, and he was tough.
When you go in, do they say, do you have to rehearse before the show?
No. You go out there, feel the crowd.
So how do you know what they are going to do?
It's the art. It's the art. It takes years of training to be able to master the art of wrestling and knowing how to do things, knowing where to put things and how to build sequences. But it's a true art, and there's no real way to describe it. It's putting together what the people want, the promoter wants, and what you guys do, and make the most of it.
So if I'm running towards you and I'm going to do a clothesline or some move, how do you know that's what I'm doing?
Body language. And it depends on the part of the match.
What if you don't? What if I'm just running at you and you're not quite sure what I'm about to do?
There should be coordination between both of us. I should know what you're doing, and we should communicate that. But a lot of the time, you can't hear. I wrestled in Puerto Rico. My opponent didn't speak English, so I had to use body language as a way to pick up on what he was doing. It's a very quick art to learn. And even in Japan, I was in Japan. Most of the match, it was all just based off of feeling and having the idea what we were doing as well. There's an idea of what we're going to be doing. And it depends on what part of the match you are. Because, for example, if you were to give me a clothesline and I'm already getting my ass beat by you, it would make sense that I'm getting clotheslined. But if I'm coming back and you're going for a clothesline, I might be blocking that and punching you. So it just depends on the situation of the match and just perfecting the art perfecting the art of pro wrestling.
Well, at what point do they tell you, hey, he's going to pin you in round 3? Like,
you know. Yeah, I mean.
But what do they tell you? Like, do you get a sheet?
Yeah.
And it just says this guy's going to win somehow.
Yes, and the referee has a timepiece to tell you the time for TV and stuff like that. So it's very.
What if you don't listen to that? That'll be your last time?
It'll be your last time in that building probably for that company. Or they'll be just like, oh, what's the matter with you? Sort of thing.
I think you should try that. I think you should try that. When do you think there's any money? Nobody bets on wrestling, do they?
Yes.
Well, because it can't. I mean, how? When someone's deciding it already? What if they got the answers already?
There's a lot of betting in Vegas. Is betting for wrestling. I don't know where. I did not look into it. I'm not knowledgeable on that, but I know there's betting in wrestling.
How do you handle setbacks and injuries? Now, have you ever had any serious injuries?
Yes.
What happened?
My knee. My knee, my neck's always in pain. My back's in pain. Like I have knickknacks. Like your neck's always gonna be tight, right? That knock on wood, no serious injuries, but my neck is tight. My back, my lower back, my left elbow is screwed up. How do you deal with it? You rehab it. I go to physical therapy often. I get shockwave therapy. I take beef supplements, and I just try to stretch as much as possible before I train, because that for me is, I believe, what I'm doing this 10 years in a row without stopping for an injury. Very, very blessed, and I think that is what I've been doing. I can always stretch more. I think I should stretch more because I don't do it enough, but the fact that I do it helps a lot.
What do you think about wrestling that most fans don't understand?
I think the business is very transparent now. A lot of fans understand wrestling. A lot of fans understand the behind the scenes stuff. I think they understand. I think fans are pretty in tune now with the movies that come out, interviews, podcasts. They have the content out there. I think they have a good, clear indication of what wrestlers go through and what wrestling is like. And I think now more than ever, it's been showcased. Prior, 20 years ago, no one knows anything. Everything is closed up, locked away. Throw away the key. No one knows anything. No one knows who's going to win. No one knows who's going to be there tonight. The surprises. No one knows anything. But I think nowadays with social media and just the amount of just content out there, it's just very easy for fans to see.
If you didn't get into wrestling, what do you think you'd be doing?
Wow, that's a good question. I would probably. I kind of wanted to be a marine biologist when I was younger. I don't know why. I like fish. I like sharks. I'll say this. I love weddings. I kind of, as I get bigger in wrestling, and I want to open up my own wedding venue one day. I mentioned this to a few people. Me and my wife, when we did wedding shopping for venues, I loved it so much. I enjoyed that thoroughly. And that's just seeing how the architecture, the beautiful chandeliers, the ballrooms, it's just beautiful to me. And I had the best time. And that is a moment in my life that I'll never forget, just going to different venues and enjoying that experience with my wife.
So why don't you start a wedding company?
Eventually, I would like to do that. It's very hard. There's so much that goes into it. But it's something that if I wasn't wrestling, I'd be doing it. But as a wrestler, and as the bigger I get, I'm going to probably open up my own wedding venue eventually.
What's the wrestler that you wish you could wrestle?
Bryan Danielson, because he's the reason why I'm doing this. He's so he's so easy to connect to, because it's just his story. And Kurt Angle, of course, and Matt Cardona.
Kurt Angle was like an Olympic wrestler,
Yep.
College wrestler or something. Like he's a major wrestler, yeah.
Both.
And then he went into WWE.
Yep.
WWE.
One of the best.
Yeah, I mean Kurt Angle, he's like freaking monstrous. How do you ever have to? Is there a weight class that you're in? Like, do you have to wrestle huge dudes sometimes?
You do, but also I'll tell you, in wrestling training, we're taught how to do Olympic wrestling as well. We're taught to do all wrestling. I know some jiu-jitsu from just pro wrestling, and that's kind of what makes a talent really malleable Because if you know different styles, know different things, you're able, I've learned the Japanese style of wrestling. I've learned English wrestling. I've learned wrestling. I learned a lot of the European style of wrestling, lucha libre. I've learned it all, and I think
the libre is the Mexican wrestling.
Yes, they do things the opposite. Like, for example, if I'm wrestling in America or in Europe, we tend to work off the left arm. I don't know if this makes sense, but it will make sense. We tend to work on the left part of the person's body. If we're doing like any holds or anything, the left part of the body is what we work on. In Mexico, it's the opposite. So and it's very hard to be able to switch that. But I was trained to do that.
So you say a couple times your story. You said, I tell my story. What is your story?
Growing up, getting heavily bullied, not loving myself, putting everyone before myself, not taking my feelings into account. That's how I kind of lived most of my life for the first 19, 20 years. Put everyone before me. I took the shit, and a lot of the time it's like, oh, it's okay, I'll deal with this. But I've learned that everything in life matters. So like there's things we do in life where we could say, oh, this doesn't matter that much. This is not a big deal. Everything is a big deal. Everything matters. Everything comes together. So I had to learn self-love. When finding my wife, that's when I found self-love. That's when I found, wow, like I love this woman so much. Why can't I love myself the same way? So that was something that I've learned a lot. And I want to be able to tell people, like, more than ever, mental health is a problem in the world. And I think people aren't alone. I've been there. And there's ways that I've gotten through it. And there's ways that I've developed self-love and developed ways of dealing with things. And I think I would like people to hopefully listen to my story, see the bullying, laughed at. I had a moment where the whole school circled around me and just laughed at me and videoed me over something that was very, very traumatic.
What was it? Because I mean, you don't look like someone that would be bullied.
Back then, I mean, now I lift weights, I'm wrestling, I'm on TV. It's different now, But back then, I was some skinny kid, all right. So I will say, this is the first time telling the story. I had a girl who I really, really liked in middle school. My friends knew that too. Random day, my friend said to me, "Hey, she likes you too." Like, really? Wow. I must have been like, I don't know, middle school, whatever age that was. And they're telling me, Vinny, yes, she really likes you. She wants to, be your girlfriend. Like, no way. Like, this is my first girl. It would have been my first girlfriend. I was so excited. Oh my gosh. But the catch was, she was asked me to be her boyfriend on April Fool's Day. And all my friends were in on this at the time. I was like, oh, well, that's weird. Why April Fool's Day? Why can't it be April 2nd? Why can't it be the day before? Why is it got to be that day? No, just trust me. It's going to be, that's the day, Vinny. It's fine. She wants to be with you. I wouldn't lie to you. That day came. We're in the lunchroom having lunch. Everyone went outside the cafeteria, circled around watching. And then she asked me to be her boyfriend. I said yes. And then she said April Fools, and the whole school, like the whole grade, jumping, videoing me, laughing in my face. It was the most traumatic. Like, it was disgusting. It felt terrible. And I'm not the only one who goes through that. So I want people to know that, like, even people who are on TV, even people who are doing things they love and they're succeeding, they've gone through things that destroy them. So and ever since then, I never thought I could get a woman. I never thought I was valuable. I never thought I had anything to offer anybody. I felt like I was like bottom of the barrel. It destroyed my self-love for a very long time. And in between, I've dated, I've been with people, but when I found my wife, everything changed.
So obviously self-love is important. It's not a big topic that you would think wrestlers talk about, but it is definitely important. There's a lot of people out there that are, I think, held back because of it. Meaning subconsciously they don't like themselves and they don't think they're worth anything. And I believe you're never going to outperform your own self-image. So you have to kind of build that self-love. How did you do it?
Because I knew for a very long time, I still do, I give my wife everything I have all the time. I give her my best. Whatever I can do to make her life easier, I do. But at some point, I looked in the mirror and I said, "Why can't I love myself the same? I deserve to be loved. She loves me. Why can't I look at myself the same way she does? Like, I'm loyal. I'm honest. I have a big heart. I'll never hurt anybody. Like, I'm worthy of love." And that was something that I had to, and also pouring from empty glass. I've always been somebody who just kept giving and giving and giving, and it gets tiring. You're on a low battery at that point. You have nothing more to give. So I had to develop loving myself and loving the person I'm becoming, and just using that as a way to make decisions. Like, if this is not going to make me better or help me build myself up, why am I going to do it? Like I said, everything you do matters. To me, everything I do matters. Every small detail matters so much. And like I said, people all the time will say, "Oh, that doesn't matter. That's a small." Like, the small details are the details. The small things are the things that are game changing.
100%. I've been forgetting these. Or drop a bomb on that one. So what would you tell people that are listening that might be identifying with where you were as to where they are right now?
I say, so I've had fans reach out to me on the verge of doing something to themselves, and telling me that my story or I inspired them to keep pushing forward. And that to me is just a blessing. And I want to be able to help people find self-love. I want them to know that I've been there. I've done that. I've got laughed at. I've gotten cheated on. I've had everything, and it destroyed me. And I let it destroy me. Some people are stronger, way more level-headed, and don't let small things or those things bother them. But I grew up Italian family. We have feelings, and it really affected me in certain ways. So I think developing self-love, and I think calling it out in the beginning and knowing what it is and knowing the steps you have to do to get there works. But I also believe no one's better than anybody. If I could do it, so could you. Well, some people may think this person's done so much, I'll never be on that level. I thought the same thing about a lot of wrestlers who I've done more than now at this point. When I started, I was like, "Oh, this guy's doing so much. Wow." Now I'm past where that person was. So that goes with everything. When you start, you don't know. When you start finding self-love, you see people who are doing it already, but you don't see the things that they've had to go through to get to where they are. Everyone has a story. Every single person has a story. And once you can take that and know that your story is special and unique and your story is different from anybody else's, that is when you will accept it and then find the self-love that you need to move forward. I think so. Knowing that I've been through it, and I'm sure many other athletes, celebrities, influencers, movie actors, everything, business people go through it. It's something that is workable.
So if there's somebody out there a little bit down, depressed, and feeling this way, you want them to reach out to you?
If they're yes, like, obviously respectfully, but if they're going through something and I've had many fans reach out to me when they've gone through something really, really bad, and I always give good advice. I always try to give my advice. I don't know it all, but if you're reaching out to me and asking me my opinion on something, I will give you my cold hard truth and my opinion on it. And I want to help people. I want this. Everyone, I believe, in this world needs help. Everybody. No one gets anywhere without help from somebody. So I think it's okay to ask for help.
That's right. I preach that. Especially with dudes. A lot of dudes feel like they just can't ask for help. They think it's, it means that they're less of a man if they need help. And in reality, if you're trying to succeed in life, asking for help is one of the smartest things you can do.
Yep.
So what can the Bomb Squad do for you?
Follow me on Instagram, right? Bomb Squad. Follow me on Instagram. Try to give wrestling a chance. Tune into Frequency Miracles.
Frequency of Miracles. When's that coming out?
I believe this summer. And so I will say the Bomb Squad could tune in today, March 14th. We are launching Angel AI. It is a regulator of AI that helps better the world. There's people out there who are less fortunate, minorities, who can't get mortgages, who can't do things. This is a way to use AI in a positive way and to create opportunity for people who don't have any. So Angel AI is a new revolutionary thing that's taking things to the next level, creating angel twins for people to monetize AI and make it something that they can have opportunity with. Tonight we're launching a new token.
What is it? What is it? Angel.ai?
Angeltwin.com, I believe.
Angel Twin? Is that right? Angeltwin.com.
The launch party's tonight at the Wynn. It's going to be amazing. A lot of VIP people going to be there. And then there's a VIP after party. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. And I think, yes, and I think doing things that empower the world and give opportunity to people who won't have any is always something that's beautiful.
What is an angel twin?
Angel twin, it's new, so it's it's new, but it's pretty much a digital version of you that people, your fans or could interact with, and is a way to digitally get things done and to monetize AI and use it in a way that is useful as opposed to just making art online. I think, leave the art to the artists, but using AI as a way to like empower the world and make opportunity for people and create people who want a mortgage, but they can't do it on their own. So they use this format, this new launch, I think is a beautiful thing.
What's a mortgage got to do with AI version of you?
So it all ties in. It's a mortgage way. There's a way for it gives opportunity to people who are less fortunate, who may want a mortgage, who may want to do things that they can't do otherwise. This is the way to do it. This is a new way to expand and create opportunity for yourself and your family.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. So things real quick. So the angel in self is not so.
Yes. Okay.
Two books up there's Maxwell and two great people. And by the way, Kurt Angle.
Right on. Hey, so if you guys can't hear Tony off camera, he's saying angel twin is like Deepak Chopra has one, John Maxwell has one, and they're basically, angel versions of you.
Yes.
All around the world.
You can talk to them, get answers, get coaching. But what's that got to do with the mortgage?
So everything ties in. So there's ways to make money. There's ways to create opportunity for yourself, right? And a lot of people would like to get a mortgage or get ways to create their chances of a mortgage better.
Sure.
And I believe this is the way to do it. This is a way that they could think outside the box and try that.
I'm gonna go to the thing just to hear what it is. Angeltwin.com, folks. Go check it out. Follow Vinny at Vinny Pacifico or at Vinny Pacifico 1. You can Google him. He'll come up. You can chat GPT him. He'll come up. And folks, share this episode out, especially if you know somebody that's a little bit down, depressed, or stuck, and they feel like they're not worth anything. And if it's you listening, reach out to Vinny Pacifico. He's been there, and he wants to freaking mentor you into self-love.
I love it. Thank you for having me, Brad.
Man, thanks for coming. All right, guys, as always, till next time, keep it real.